How's it going, guys? Jason here with Stick It Designs. I'm going to do an instructional video on how to install your overlay on the gauge faceplate. In this case, we're using an AEM boost gauge. This same process applies for any of the gauges, whether it be the air-fuel ratio or even Innovate gauge or the Aeroforce gauge. Same process and procedure. The thing is, with these AEM faceplates, a lot of them have a clear film on them, and you can't even hardly see it at all. If you notice here, this is the clear film that I'm talking about, and this is where a customer installed my overlay, and then the overlay started to bubble up and peel. And the reason was because he didn't notice this clear film that was on the front of this gauge, and he didn't take it off. So when he installed it, then like I say, you had bubbles and it just turned into a big problem. So I'm going to show you the right way and illustrate what this film, I mean, it's identical. I'm going to try to unroll it here. It's identical to the to the template or cutout of the gauge face. I don't know how well you can see that. So when this thing is on the gauge face, the way it comes, you really can't even see it. You can't even tell it's there. So you got to look at it really, really close. Take your fingernail or the tip of like an X-Acto knife or something and peel it up and remove that and discard it. Throw it away. If not, you're going to have problems. So now, once you have that, it's very easy. All I do is spray it down with a little bit of soapy water. Just like that. Take your new overlay. And it's good to wash your hands first, of course. Peel it up, spray the back of it. You can't spray too much, just soak it, don't worry about that. And then just eyeball it and line it up. And it may take a couple shots to get it just the way you want it, and that's fine. You can peel it up and start over. You're not going to hurt anything. And it doesn't have to be like 100% perfect, exact, you know what I mean? Because once you have this thing back in the gauge and the bezel screwed on and all that, and you're sitting in your driver's seat, you're not going to see if it's barely not perfectly lined up. You're not going to see that. But of course, you do want to get it arguably close. You want it, pretty close so it looks nice. Like that. And then what you want to do is just get you a paper towel and dab off the excess. Just like that. Front and back, just for the sake of it not being wet. And then what I like to do, and I suggest, is either put it in a book or lay a book on top of it. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this towel out of the way, lay it down. I'm going to take a credit card, because this is just a gift card, lay on top of it, lay my water bottle on top of that, and I'm just putting some weight on it to let it cure and dry. I prefer to let it set overnight. You don't necessarily have to, but I would recommend doing that. Let it sit overnight, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, even 24 hours is fine, just to make sure it's fully cured out. And after that period of time, of course, pick it up, use your fingers, dab it down, make sure it's, tack down really, really good. And which it should be, it should have very few, if any, kind of a bubble or anything. And then you can put it back into your gauge, and you should have no problems whatsoever. The key is making sure you get this film off of that faceplate. And most of the only ones I've ever seen that have that film are the AEM gauges. Some of those faceplates they have are metal, like this one here is metal, but I've seen some that are kind of a plasticky material as well. So they use different materials for their faceplates. But just make sure it does not have that clear film on there, and you'll be perfectly fine. Thanks for watching.